Part 37. Back before I became a vegetative state, I became an immortal and invincible. Author, Ching Jue Chen Chen. Chapter 361. Lin Kuei sat in front of Lu Hehua's house and satirized them for more than 10 minutes. After saying that her mouth was dry, she went home satisfied. At this time, the faces of the three people in the room were all ugly. Lu Yuero frowned and said, I think we still need to continue to find a way to reconcile with Lao Qiao's family. You should also have heard that the clothes that the children of Lao Si's family are wearing now are all from Jiao Ningxun's clothing factory. Lu Hehua and Ye Yunting nodded at the same time. They had indeed heard about it. At first they always thought that Jiao Ningxun's family just contracted the land and had a shop. Unexpectedly, Jiao Ningxun was quietly making a fortune and quietly bought a clothing factory. If their men hadn't gone to the garment factory to find a job and happened to see Jiao Ningxun going to the factory, they wouldn't have known that they actually had relatives worth tens of millions of dollars. Later, Xiang Chemin took her two children back to the village. When Xiao Nianyi and Xiao Nianhe were playing with the children in the village, they were asked where they bought their clothes and why they were so beautiful. Since the child was young, he told the truth directly, saying that his cousin Jiao Ningxun gave it to them. Xiao Nianhe also said that since last year, the clothes worn by their two children, and even Xiang Chemin's clothes, have been contracted by Jiao Ningxun. If the clothing factory didn't produce men's clothing, it is estimated that even Jiao Jianru's clothes would have been contracted. Lu Hehua said, I also went online to look at Jiao's wardrobe. The most expensive clothes in her factory now sell for 3,000 yuan apiece. The sales are also very good. I looked at the monthly sales in the store, at least there are more than 100,000. What is the concept of more than 100,000 yuan? I heard that clothes are earned half and half, and their clothes are very expensive. Even if each piece of clothing earns 250 yuan and sells 100,000 yuan a month, that month will still be at least 2,000 yuan. 5 million in revenue. Ye Yunting said, I also quietly asked people in that factory. I heard that their factory has now expanded its scale. Everyone's salary is at least 4,000. Those who make clothes, if they work harder every month, you can earn at least tens of thousands of yuan. I also heard that Xiang Chemin also works part-time as a designer in a clothing factory and earns a lot of money every month. Her two children, Jiao Ningxun, also let them be models. Every time they take a photo, at least they are on the internet. 1,000 yuan of income. Lu Yuero said with envy on her face, if we had been more filial to the old Jiao family and helped raise He Yuan Yang and He Yuan Hui, we don't know how many benefits we can get now. Maybe we can also work in a clothing factory. Lu Hehua said displeased, what Jiao Shulan did is really too much. Even though we didn't care about the old man before, we are still her relatives, and we treat her so favorably. Ye Yunting nodded, yes, our children are also her nephews and nieces. It is really partial to give clothes to the children of the fourth family. The faults between adults should not be involved in the children. Lu Yujideo, old Jiao's family is getting richer and richer. The gap between us poor relatives and them is probably getting wider and wider. Lu Hehua said, it's been so many years, haven't you thought of a way to reconcile with that side? Lu Yueja said, unexpectedly, the blame is on us for being unkind and making the old couple hold grudges. However, the old couple are also cruel, and they can actually watch their own son and grandson suffer. Ye Yunting suddenly asked with a sinister look on her face, then do you have any way so that we can also benefit from Lao Qiao's family? They both shook their heads at the same time. How could they possibly have any idea? Ye Yunting said sinisterly, Jiao Ningxun is just a child. I still don't believe it. The three of us can't defeat her. Let's find a way together. Sooner or later we will come up with it. The most important thing now is to find out whose Xingxia garment factory is in whose name is it. If it's in the name of our parents-in-law, then we'll give it away. If the old couple dies, their family will inherit the inheritance. The two of them nodded and went to think of ways to find out. It was only the next day that they knew that everything was in the name of Jiaoning Sun. Even if Chiao Kongsheng and Ye Kaixiang died, they could not inherit it. They were so angry that they could only curse everyone in Lao Chiao's family at home. Lu Hehua, why are the people in Lao Chiao's family so confused? With such a big garment factory under Jiaoning Sun's name, what will be left of their family when she gets married? Yeah, Yunting, you can't say that. Old Chiao's family doesn't have any money either. It was only after Jiaoning Sun came back that they got rich. It's probably all Jiaoning Sun's money, so they put it in her name. Lu Yuero, how can a child manage a good clothing factory? Jiaoning Sun is Jiao Shulan's daughter, so the factory should be controlled by Jiao Shulan. If her daughter gets married in the future, what else will she have? What a fool. If Jiaoning Sun becomes Jiao Shulan in the future, the man doesn't want her to have too close contact with her mother's family, so she will have to live in poverty like the old couple of Lao Jiao's family before. Jiao Jianmo said impatiently, okay, you have time to chat here, why not think about how to make a fortune? She is indeed a woman with long hair and short knowledge. Jiaoning Sun is so filial now, how could she not care about her mother? Although he was reluctant to admit it, his daughter was indeed a caring little cotton-padded jacket, much more filial than most sons. Jiao Jianzhou, with our abilities, how can we make a fortune? Unless we also do business, but business requires capital, do we have it? Jiao Jianyuo, yes, we are all working and know nothing about business. When we were young, the three of us never got 40 points in the math test. How do you want us to do business? Jiao Jianzhou, 40 points? The three of us often get 8 points. Jiao Jianmo choked up, you have time to argue with me, you might as well think about how to make money. How could the others find a way and end up unhappy? Deng Yu has completely changed his name to Shi Xiao. Shi Xiao was working at Xingxia garment factory when he saw Jiaoning Sun's car coming in from the gate. After she ran over, Jiaoning Sun also happened to get out of the car. Jiaoning Sun saw Shi Xiao as soon as he got out of the car. At this time, Shi Xiao was better dressed than before, and he was more energetic than before. Although I have been working for a while, it can be seen to the naked eye that I have gained a lot of weight compared to the time when I took the college entrance examination, and I am even a little taller. Shi Xiao stepped forward and bowed to Jiaoning Sun, senior sister, no, Mr. Jiao, thank you very much for helping me find my biological parents. Jiaoning Sun smiled and said, so it's you. Come on, let's go to the office to talk. Shi Xiao nodded, okay. Arriving at the office, Jiaoning Sun asked Shi Xiao to sit down and ask someone to bring them a cup of coffee. Jiaoning Sun took a sip and said with a smile, how are you doing lately? Back before I became a vegetative state, I became an immortal and invincible. Author, Qing Jue Chen Chen. Chapter 362. Shi Xiao said, very good. I was very awkward getting along with my biological parents at first, but they were really good to me. They gave me delicious food every day. My mother would also give me delicious food before going to bed at night. Warm a glass of milk. My parents also took me to the mall and bought me everything I liked. They provided me with mobile phones, laptops, and tablets. She also cares about me a lot and often cooks delicious food for me in various ways. As long as I say I like a dish, that dish will be on the table for the next week, and they won't stop until I get tired of saying it. They are also preparing the things they need to go to college. They don't know what to buy, so they ask their neighbor sisters and brothers who have gone to college, as if they want to give me everything I need. As he said this, Shi Xiao's eyes suddenly turned red. I should have doubted my life experience a long time ago. My adoptive father and mother don't treat me like they treat their biological children. Otherwise, My biological parents wouldn't look for me after searching for so long, I won't be nearly unable to take the college entrance examination. Jiao Ningxun said with relief, well, everything is over now. Your parents still have time to make it up to you, and you still have time to accompany your parents. Shi Xiao said, after the college entrance examination scores came out, I ranked 5th in the province. Originally, I wanted to study at Nanjing University so that I could go home often and take care of my parents. But they knew that my grades were not good enough to study at Huaxia University. After asking questions, they insisted that I go to Beijing to study at Huaxia University, so I might not be able to stay with them for long. If her job stays in the capital in the future, she will not be able to accompany her parents. Jiao Ningxun has unlocked the ability to read minds, so she knows exactly what Shi Xiao is thinking at this time. Relax, in the worst case you can settle down in the capital, and you can take them over and live together. Shi Xiao was a little unsure. I heard that land in the capital is very expensive, so I may not have the ability to buy a house in the capital and settle down. Jiao Ningxun, don't worry, I'm always right in what I say. If I say you can do it, you can do it. You see, you can now earn enough tuition for the first semester with your own efforts. You are already much better than many people. Shi Xiao looked at Jiao Ningxun with tears in her eyes. She didn't expect that an outsider would believe in herself so much. Well, if you believe in me so much, then I will work hard. Jiao Ningxun smiled and nodded, well, come on. 3 days later, there were finally fewer guests at Lao Jiao's house. Jiao Kongsheng originally wanted to invite friends in the village to dinner before filling in his application form. But He Yuanyang said that he didn't like to be too high profile and just gave some return gifts to the people in the village who came to congratulate him. Jiao Kongsheng refused to agree at first, but after his eldest grandson's insistence, he gave up. But they had agreed in advance that if Jiao Ningxun and He Yuanhui were admitted to Huaxia University next year, the three of them would celebrate together. He Yuanyang also agreed. A few days later, He Yuanyang was successfully admitted to Huaxia University and went to the capital to study. Jiao Ningxun and He Yuanhui also entered the intense study period of their senior year of high school. Jiao Ningxun's grades have always been very good, and he has been participating in sports competitions and mathematics competitions. As long as she participates in the competition, she will be the first place. So by the time her third year of high school was about to take the college entrance examination, she had already been recommended to Huaxia University. Just to give He Yuanhui a suitable learning atmosphere, and also to prevent himself from leaving any regrets in his life. So even if she was admitted, she still asked herself to take the college entrance examination. Nanjing has regulations that even if students are recommended, they can still take the college entrance examination, but they cannot fill in the application form. At this time, in the study room of Jiao Ningxun's villa, He Yuanhui, Yan Yuxiu, Guan Yiwen, Wei Dongchen, etc. were all working on the question seriously. It is the habit of Nanjing No. 1 Middle School to send students home from the afternoon of June 3 to have a good rest and review by themselves. Wait until the afternoon of the 6th before going to school and familiarizing yourself with the examination room. This year, Class 8, Grade 3, is still taking the exam in Nanjing No. 1 Middle School. Many people feel that as soon as June arrives, the situation is over. No matter how hard they try, their level has been fixed. But Jiao Ningxun feels that even in June, we should not relax. Sometimes it's those few days that most people look down upon. If you're lucky and familiar with the test points, you can open up a huge gap in scores. So she asked He Yuanhui, Yan Yuxiu, Guan Yiwen, and Wei Dongchen to review in her villa. The day before the exam, she decided to review their homework for them in person. At this time, the 5 of them were all doing college entrance examination mock papers. Half an hour later, Jiao Ningxun marked their test papers one by one. In order not to make them too nervous, She marked them all and then let them see the results. After a while, all 4 of them got their test papers. Chiao Ningxun said, "Cousin, you made a mistake on a question that the teacher and I told you before. You made a mistake again this time. You were really careless." He Yuan Hua's face suddenly turned red. "Yuxiu made the same mistake as my cousin, and I have mentioned it before. I hope I won't make it again next time." Yan Yuxiu smiled awkwardly. "Guan Yiwen did a better job this time and got everything right. Keep it up next time." Guan Yiwen grinned. Wei Dongchen made the most mistakes. He got 2 questions wrong. When they take a break later, you are not allowed to take a break. Wei Dongchen's face turned pale and he sighed resignedly. After Chiao Ningxun explained it to them in detail, he continued to send them test papers and asked them to continue doing it. Now that they have memorized everything they should memorize, if they want to get high scores, they can only implement the question-based tactic for them. In this way, except for checking the seats in the examination room on the afternoon of the 6th, Chiao Ningxun has been tutoring the 4 of them the rest of the time. At 8 o'clock in the evening on the 6th, Chiao Ningxun took back the last English test paper. After finishing the correction, he said with a smile, "Yes, everything is correct." The 4 of them suddenly breathed a sigh of relief. Chiao Ningxun, "Okay, everyone can go wash up and go to bed early tonight. I will wake you up tomorrow morning, so don't worry." In order not to be late for school, Chiao Ningxun generously invited the 4 of them to stay. The 4 of them nodded obediently and went back to their rooms to wash up. He Yuanhui suddenly returned to the study and asked anxiously, "Cousin, do you think that with my current ability, can I get into my eldest brother's school?" Chiao Ningxun said seriously, "Don't be too attached to the same school. There are good schools everywhere in the country. The good universities in Beijing are not just Huaxia University." He Yuanhui was a little disappointed. "Cousin, you can tell fortunes. Did you guess that I didn't get admitted to Huaxia University?" "Of course not." Chiao Ning flicked his forehead. "What are you thinking about? I told you, I can't figure out everything for people who are related to me by blood." You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Back before I became a vegetative state, I became an immortal and invincible. Author, Qing Jue Chen Chen. Chapter 363. I say this to give you a good attitude. If you have been thinking about getting into Huaxia University, you will be extremely nervous tomorrow. Relax and everything is possible. He Yuanhui breathed a sigh of relief. "So that's it, okay, cousin, don't worry, I will work hard to take the exam." Chiao Ningxun, "Well, come on, I believe in you." Chiao Ningxun was lying on the bed. She didn't plan to practice today. After more than a year, she has gained a lot of spiritual power, and has unlocked most of the immortal spells in the Book of Immortal Spells. She has the college entrance examination tomorrow, so she will give herself a night off tonight. Just as she was about to lock her phone, she saw a message from Chu Yanyi. "Come on tomorrow, I'll wait for you in the capital." Chiao Ningxun, in other words, if I go to Huaxia University, I can see you more often. Chu Yanyi, yes, by that time, I will be almost no longer busy, and I will have done almost everything I need to do. Chiao Ningxun, that's great. Chu Yanyi, that's great. Chiao Ningxun was stunned, and quickly realized that this would be misunderstood, and quickly explained, "I mean, you don't have to work so hard in the future. As your good friend, I am happy for you." Chu Yanyi smiled helplessly. "That's it?" Knowing that she would take the college entrance examination tomorrow, Chu Yanyi no longer wasted her time. He said a few words of encouragement and let her rest. At 4 o'clock the next morning, Chiao Kongsheng and Ye Kaixiang took Chiao Shulan to Tianling community early to make breakfast for several children. Fortunately, the soundproofing of the villa here is very good. No movement on the first floor can be heard from upstairs. After they finished eating, they were sent to the examination room. Perhaps they were all blessed by the god of luck, and all 5 of them passed the exam very successfully. On the afternoon of the 8th, Qiao Shulan and her parents saw He Yuan Yang, Guan Yiwen, and Wei Dongchen coming out, and hurried forward to ask, "How did you 3 do on the exam?" In fact, Qiao Ningxun gave Guan Yiwen and Wei Dongchen's parents a holiday and asked them to spend time with their children today. But their current positions are considered important. They feel that since their employer values them so much and cares so much about their children, they are worried that there will be problems at work if they take leave, so they did not come here today. Qiao Kongsheng also liked those 2 children, so he said he would take care of them on their behalf. Their 2 parents each gave some money to the Qiao family as hard work expenses. Although Qiao Kongsheng was unwilling to accept it, the 2 families insisted, so he accepted it. Wei Dongchen touched his head and said with a smile, "I think the questions are quite simple. I checked them for a long time after finishing them." Guan Yiwen, "I also feel that I did it very smoothly today." He Yuanhui said confidently, "The afternoon session is indeed very simple. 140 points should be enough." Qiao Shulan smiled helplessly. Qiao Ningxun raised his eyebrows and said, "Cousin, when you usually take mock tests, you get 145 points. He Yuanhui smiled and said, "I just said a conservative number." "Oh fine. The college entrance examination is over and everyone is relaxed." To facilitate future travel, Qiao Ningxun enrolled herself and He Yuanhui in a driving school and planned to obtain a driver's license before the university started. Last year, He Yuanyang also got his driver's license at the end of July. Time passed very quickly, and the results of the college entrance examination came out in a blink of an eye. Wei Dongchen logged into the website and saw his results, and said excitedly, I actually scored 710 points. Guan Yiwen used another computer to log in almost at the same time. When he saw his results, he was also excited. I actually scored 718 points. Qiao Ningxun smiled and said, "Congratulations, your scores are far higher than the admission score of Huaxia University in Nanjing last year. It should be no problem to go to Huaxia University." The 2 of them were not related to her by blood, and she knew before the college entrance examination that they would go to the same school as her. But things are sealed. If she had told her in advance, they would definitely be too proud and there would inevitably be no accidents. The 2 of them suddenly breathed a sigh of relief. They put in much more effort than other students in the class. In the past 2 years, they have rarely even gone to relatives, and they have always studied at home. Their parents also had a lot of bad words said by their relatives. No matter how hard you try, it's useless. Their family doesn't have the genes to get into Huaxia University. What else can I say? They just don't want to see their relatives, so they use study as an excuse. Now that the matter has settled, they can finally slap their relatives in the face. School teachers have seen their progress in the past 2 years and have high expectations for them. If you fail to get into Huaxia University, there will definitely be a lot of people disappointed. Immediately afterwards, I started to check Qiao Ningxun and He Yuanyang. As expected, Qiao Ningxun got perfect scores and ranked first in science in the province. He Yuanhui scored 745, ranking 5th in the province in science. He Yuanhui sighed, "Let me tell you, I can't pass my cousin's exam." Qiao Kongsheng said with a smile, "It's okay. You can go to the same school as your cousin from now on. You 3 brothers and sisters will take care of each other from now on." I am finally relieved. He Yuanhui, "Yes, we can be in the same school again in the future." Guan Yiwen looked at Qiao Ningxun and said solemnly, "Qiao Ningxun, thank you very much. If it weren't for your help, I wouldn't have gotten such a good score." Wei Dongchen also said, Qiaoning Suan, thank you too. I never thought that I could do so well in the exam. Qiaoning Suan smiled and said, it's not all my fault, it's also the result of your own efforts. Don't talk about this, go home quickly and tell your family the good news. The two nodded and quickly went home. Guan Qinfu hadn't rested yet. He was very excited when he heard about his son's score. That's great, son, you have brought glory to our family. Guan Yiwen smiled and said, I still have to thank Qiaoning Suan. She first gave our family a job so that we could make money, and then gave me tutoring. Otherwise, how could I have been able to enter number 1 middle school because of the national policy? It's impossible to get into university, let alone Huaxia University. Guan Qinfu also knew how much his son had weighed before, and said seriously, you are right, the people from Lao Chiao's family are our benefactors. Don't worry, when you get the admission notice, I will come to your door with heavy gifts grateful. Well, the heavier, the better. Wei Dongchen also returned home and told his parents Wei Fasai and Gu Xiaoyan about his results. The two of them have never read any books. They only know how to make money on weekdays. They have always been carefree about their son's studies. After all, their previous academic performance was not very good, so they have no qualifications to ask their children to do well. I just didn't expect that Wei Dongchen's score actually exceeded the admission score of Huaxia University in Nanjing last year. Back before I became a vegetative state, I became an immortal and invincible. Author, Qing Jie Chen Chen. Chapter 364. Wei Fasai said blankly, Xiao Chen, are you telling the truth? Are your college entrance examination scores really that good? Gu Xiaoyan said, we don't care whether you can go to Huaxia University, we just want you to be safe, happy, and honest, so don't deliberately lie to us just to make us happy. Wei Dongchen said with a smile, Dad, Mom, I really didn't lie to you. Qiaoning Suan, He Yuny, and Guan Yiwen and I all scored above 700 points, especially Qiaoning Suan, she was actually full marks. If you don't believe it, I'll borrow their computer to check the scores in front of you tomorrow. Seeing that their son's words were plausible, Wei Fasai and Gu Xiaoyan no longer had any doubts. Wei Fasai smiled and patted his son on the shoulder, well done. I didn't expect that our family would really have a student from a prestigious university. Gu Xiaoyan said, after we get the admission notice, let's go and thank Qiaoning Suan. She is a kind-hearted child who gave us jobs and tutored our children. This kind of kindness is really difficult to repay. Wei Fasai nodded, okay, I'll buy more good things and send them over then. Gu Xiaoyan, yeah. Like last year, Lao Chiao's house has been busy for a long time. Many admissions teachers felt a little regretful after seeing Qiaoning Suan. The student who was recommended got the top score in science again, and his score was still perfect. It would be great if he could enter their school. But He Yuny was also good, so for a while, many admissions teachers from schools arrived, and the threshold of Lao Chiao's family was almost broken. It wasn't until He Yuny said that he had decided to study at Huaxia University that Lao Chiao's family gradually became quiet. The village chief already has the experience from last year, so he is not in a hurry this year. Some reporters knew that the top scorers in science last year and this year were both in Deguo village, so they swarmed over to interview the village chief about whether the village was a legendary feng shui treasure. Some reporters even made a special report on Deguo village after getting the consent of the village chief after knowing that there were several students in the village who had the potential to study at Huaxia University. As soon as the report came out, many people felt that Deguo village was a geomantic treasure. Some parents who hope that their sons and daughters will succeed will bring their children to Deguo village whenever they have time, hoping that their children can also take advantage of the aura of Deguo village. Even some parents who are free and wealthy feel that Deguo village has beautiful mountains and clear waters, fresh air, and simple villagers, so they directly take their children to live in the homes of the villagers in Daguo village. The villagers in Daguo village were very happy to see that they could collect rent just by freeing up 1 or 2 rooms for others to live in. Those city dwellers don't cook either, so the villagers provide them with extra meals and charge a sum of money, making them smile from ear to ear every day. How could they have imagined in the past that they could collect money just sitting at home? After He Yuanyang became the #1 scholar in science last year, many families renovated their bathrooms, so those in the city can get used to rural life. Moreover, some parents discovered that Daguo village also has Jiaoningsun's fruit base. You can buy the freshest fruits within a few steps every day, and they like Daguo village even more. The news spread to 10 and hundreds of people. Many people in the city and even people from outside Nanjing city went to Daguo village. For a time, all the vacant rooms with slightly better conditions in Daguo village were rented by city dwellers. Of course, Jiao Jianmo and his 2 younger brothers have no one to rent at home. There is no other reason. Their work has not been going well in the past 2 years. Although they have some savings, they dare not use it rashly. Hence, the toilets in their homes are still old-fashioned dry toilets. Not to mention city people, even young people who have gone out to work are not used to using them. Wei Dongchen and Guan Yiwen even received tutoring jobs in the village to help first-year high school students consolidate their knowledge. I have to say that they fought back from being poor students and they know the way of thinking of poor students best. This is also the peak of their high school knowledge memory, so it is best to use it to tutor children in the first grade of high school. Nanjing #1 Middle School is also a beneficiary. Their school has ranked first in the province for 2 consecutive years. Principal Yao smiles from ear to ear every day and receives praise from his superiors every day. Every time he was praised, he would call Chiao Shulan and praise her for raising her 3 children well. Chiao Ningxuan, the provincial champion, is still very popular. Especially her sports have also brought glory to Nanjing and made her the focus of Nanjing in July and August. Many reporters want to interview her. It's just that Jiao Ningxun feels that people are afraid of being famous and people are afraid of being strong. No matter what she says, if she meets some people who like to pick on words, whatever she says will be wrong. In order not to cause trouble to her and her family, she refused all interviews. There were also many reporters who wanted to interview Jiao Shulan, but they were all rejected by her. Some reporters found out from somewhere that Zhou's Fresh is from Lao Jiao's family, and even went to Zhou's to report on it. Although it brought some minor troubles to Zhou's Fresh has completely gained a reputation due to their reports and has become the most famous fruit and vegetable store in Nanjing. Some people even flocked to Trader Joe's to buy vegetables after learning that Trader Joe's Fresh sells all organic fruits and vegetables. After eating it once, they couldn't stop. Many people who are dozens or even hundreds of kilometers away from all Joe's Fresh stores are willing to drive here to buy them, which makes Joe's Fresh business particularly good. They can sell out their vegetables before 4 o'clock every day, so that everyone can have breakfast early. Some go home to rest. Some reporters found out that Xingxia garment factory is also owned by Jiao Ningxuan. They watched Jiao's wardrobe on Dolphin Video and were even more shocked when they saw the monthly sales volume and the price of clothes. I went to the garment factory and heard the employees say that Jiao Ningxuan took over the garment factory when he was 16 and brought it back to life. I admired Jiao Ningxuan even more. Knowing that she is so powerful, reporters all want to interview Jiao Ningxuan about why she is so powerful at such a young age. But Jiao Ningxuan refused to be interviewed, so they had no choice but to go to places where she often appeared from time to time to see if they could interview her. Of course, the provincial government, municipal government, schools, and society all gave Jiao Ningxuan a large amount of scholarships. Although she is not short of money now, there is no reason to refuse the money delivered to her door. Some companies even directly ask her what major she wants to fill in, and they can arrange suitable employment positions for her in the future. Principal Yao and Zhou Anning were also interviewed by many people, and they were praised by the public every day. With Jiaoningsun as the provincial champion, Nanjing No. 1 Middle School, which was already famous, became even more famous. Some parents of students taking the high school entrance examination next year have already chosen other schools. However, for 2 consecutive years, the students of Nanjing No. 1 Middle School have been provincial science champions, and they all plan to apply for Nanjing No. 1 Middle School in the future. At this time, Zhou Anning was looking at the latest real estate projects in Nanjing City. Back before I became a vegetative state, I became an immortal and invincible. Author, Qing Jue Chen Chen. Chapter 365. Provincial regulations stipulate that the head teacher who is the top scorer in the provincial college entrance examination will be rewarded with 300,000 cash. The city also has regulations that if you bring out the top scorer in the college entrance examination, you will be rewarded with 150,000 cash. Coupled with the rewards from the school, she can earn several large sums of money this year. Xiaochens was also with Zhou Anning. Zhou Anning looked at the villas near the school and sighed, "People just don't know how to be content. I used to think that it would be enough to have a room with 1 bedroom, 1 living room, 1 kitchen, and 1 bathroom for me to have a place to live in. Now that I have money, but I want to buy a 3-bedroom apartment or even a villa." Xiaochen smiled and said, "This is normal. How big your ability is, how big your heart is. Zhou Anning, it's just that if I buy a villa with the money in my hand, it will definitely not be enough. I also have to bear the mortgage. In my opinion, I'd better just buy a second apartment. I don't have to pay for it if my family gives me more mortgage." Xiaochens, "That's okay, but the mortgage is very tiring." Zhou Anning nodded, "Speaking of making money, I didn't know that Jiaoningsun turned out to be a little rich woman who actually owned a clothing factory. I also bought a lot of clothes from Jiao's wardrobe. Although the price was a bit expensive, the styles were genuine. It's pretty." Xiaochen sighed and said, "Who says it's not the case? We all work, and the money we make every day is not as much as a teenage boy. It's really embarrassing." Zhou Anning smiled and said, "So we have to work harder in the future." Xiaochens, "You are right. Jiaoningsun's house has been quiet for a few days, and it's time to fill in the application form again. Of course, Jiaoningsun has long been admitted to the finance major of Huaxia University, so there is no need to fill in the application form. He Yuny, like He Yunyang, also applied for the finance major at Huaxia University. They are not short of money now, and they also have some money in their hands. They can just learn relevant knowledge and invest in the future without making themselves too tired." After filling out the volunteer form, everyone in Lao Jiao's family relaxed completely. He Yunyang also returned from Huaxia University. On July 18, after He Yuny also received the admission notice, everyone in Lao Jiao's family gathered together. Qiao Kongsheng and Ye Kaixiang have not stopped smiling since He Yunyang was admitted to Huaxia University last year, and they even laughed in their dreams at night. Qiao Kongsheng said with a smile, "It's better now. The 3 children in the family have all been admitted to the same top university, and they can take care of each other in the future. They have a bright future, and the task of the 3 of us has been completed." Ye Kaixiang laughed and scolded, "What has been accomplished? There are still important things that they have not accomplished in their lifetime, but at least they can relax in the past 3 or 4 years." Qiao Kongsheng smiled and nodded, "You are right, I relaxed too early." Qiao Shulan said, "Dad, Mom, let's celebrate the children." He Yuny hurriedly said, "Second aunt, is this unnecessary? You have been tired enough recently. Besides, there was no celebration after the exam last year, so we don't need to celebrate." Ye Kaixiang said, "We made an appointment with your eldest brother last year. When you 2 finish the exam, we will celebrate together. And if someone from other families is admitted to an ordinary university, they have to celebrate 3 of our family have been admitted to Huaxia University, and we have to celebrate lively to let people know that our family is not a family that others can look down upon. Yes, Jiao Kongsheng sighed, my family used to be poor, and many people looked down on our family. When our family asked you to study in high school at the same time, many people said that it was useless to study in high school. They said that you should go to work. In 3 years, the 3 of you can earn more than 100,000 for the family. Some of the kids who grew up with you didn't even go to high school and went to work directly. I heard that some of them have pretty good incomes now, but most of them do manual labor. I want them to know that my children are all good at studying. If they study well, they will make no less money than working. The scholarship for the 3 of you admitted to Huaxia University will be more than what they made after working for 3 years. Many. Chiao Shulan nodded, that's right. Our old Chiao family is very proud. When we contracted the land in the village, some people said that we were nouveau riche with no background. They said that our family had no educated people and that we would not be able to keep our property after we had it. I want them to see that there are not only educated people in our family, but there are also 3, not what they think. He Yuanhui looked at Jiaoning Xuan, cousin, what do you think? Jiaoning Xuan, if you want to celebrate, just celebrate, I'm free to do it. He Yuanhui could only agree, okay, my cousin agreed, and so do I. Chiao Kongsheng looked at He Yuan Yang again, last year you insisted that we don't want to celebrate for you. You said that we would celebrate together when your brother and cousin's grades come in this year. Then this year, we will also hold your college entrance banquet. You can't refuse anymore. He Yuan Yang smiled and nodded, well, I'll just listen to you. The 3 elders were overjoyed. Chiao Shulan touched her chin, I thought about it. Most of the people in the village must be invited, as well as teachers from the school, friends, and those who often go to our store to buy food and have added WeChat. After Yuan Yang was admitted to college, Xingxia garment factory expanded a lot, and the managers must be hired. There must be a lot of people, so go to the big hotels in the city to hire them. When I was selling vegetables, I often heard people in the city say that when their families have happy events, they usually go to the hotel, so that the family members are not so tired, and they also have face. The banquet habit of ordinary people in Nanjing City is usually to have 2 meals. 1 meal at noon and 1 meal in the evening. Of course, if some people have something to do that day, they will only eat lunch and not go in the evening. There are also people who invite people to stay in the evening, but they are a minority. If you don't do it well, you will be scolded for being stingy. It is definitely not possible to ask for help in the village. Daguo village can also be regarded as a remote village. It is very troublesome for everyone except the people in the village to hold the event in this village. Moreover, there is no room for dozens of tables of dishes at home. If the weather is bad that day, you will definitely offend a lot of people. Parking space is also a big problem. Daguo village cannot accommodate too many vehicles. The family discussed for a while and unanimously decided to go to a big hotel in the city where parking is convenient. As for the people in the village, we will count the number of people who want to go, rent some buses, and arrange the people in the village who want to go to the hotel. Although this is a bit high profile, for the happy event of several children, high profile doesn't matter. Anyway, their memory will fade after a while. Originally, they wanted to entertain their relatives and friends in batches. But all their relatives and friends are their honored guests. If people know that some of them are at the back and not at the front, it is easy to offend people. End of chapter. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Back before I became a vegetative state, I became an immortal and invincible. Author, Qing Jue Chen Chen. Chapter 366. People in this village will say, Do they look down on them as rural people, so they are ranked last? City people will say, do they look down on them? Why should we be ranked behind rural people? Of course, they will definitely not say it openly, but privately some people or relatives of some people know about it, and they always have to talk about it. This is the first large-scale banquet held by Lao Jiao's family, and he really wants to make the guests and hosts enjoy themselves. So everyone decided to have a banquet at the same time. So starting from July 19th, Lao Jiao's family went to the city every day to choose a suitable hotel. However, Jiao Ningxun and He Yuanhui have to go to the driving school to practice driving every day, so they can help with ideas at night. But recently it was a time when hotel business was particularly good. They found the phone number online and made many calls to inquire, but they couldn't find a location. Either there is a place, but the remaining place cannot accommodate everyone that Lao Jiao's family wants to entertain. Either it is not an auspicious day. Elderly people are quite superstitious and think that if it is not an auspicious day, they must not treat guests. There are also hotels whose food is so unpalatable that a random search on the internet will reveal a series of negative reviews. In some hotels, even 70% of the dishes are pre-made. High-end dishes such as Lian Fo Tiaoqiang are also pre-made. It is not sincere at all to serve guests with pre-made dishes, and it is even more offensive. So after 5 days, the enthusiasm of Lao Jiao's family was almost worn out. He Yuanyang said, "Grandpa and Grandma, don't be discouraged. There are many hotels in Nanjing. Let's call them one by one." Chiao Kongsheng sighed and said, "There must be many parents now organizing banquets for their children to enter higher education. After all, we are a step too late." Ye Kaixiang said anxiously, "What should we do now? Do we really need to have separate banquets?" "No, that would offend people." Chiao Kongsheng frowned and said, "If that doesn't work, let's go to the farmhouse. We have to pay special attention to the food there." Ye Kaixiang nodded, "If we really can't book it in a few days, we will really have to go to the farmhouse. Those places are spacious and easy to park." Suddenly, Jiao Ningxun's phone rang. When he saw the caller ID, he quickly answered the call. "Hello. Chu Yanyi, have everyone in your family received the admission notice?" "Right. Has the venue for the college entrance banquet been determined?" "No, many good hotels have been booked on a day where there is a place. The day is not very good. The elderly are superstitious, and I can't predict my own fortune, so I can only follow them." Chu Yanyi was stunned for a moment. She wanted to say that she still believed this, but thinking that there were 3 elders in her family, she had to change her sentence and said, "What about the hotel?" Chiao Ningxun sighed and said, "I called and asked about it, but it was all booked." "Chu Yanyi, how many people do you want to entertain?" "Chiao Ningxun, if we count 10 people per table, I'm afraid it should be at least 50 tables. There are dozens of tables in Daguacan alone. Those who have donated money to He Yuanyang's leukemia before will definitely be invited regardless of whether they have any further dealings with him or her." "Chu Yanyi, then let's go to Junhua Hotel." Junhang Hotel. Chiao Ningxun was stunned. Everyone in Lao Jiao's family looked at her when they heard that she was visiting the hotel. Junhua Hotel, located in the center of Nanjing, is one of the most upscale hotels in Nanjing. She also thought about booking there, but the price was too expensive, and the minimum standard for a banquet was 6,888 per table. The elderly family members were reluctant to part with it, and they also felt that it was too high profile. Old people all feel that although their families are rich now and their children are also rich, they still need to save a little money. Flowers are not as good as 100 days, and people are not as prosperous as 100 days. Maybe one day in the future, they will be short of money again. She also called to inquire, and all the tables on the good day were booked. "Chu Yanyi, that's right, just go there." Chiao Ningxun had no choice but to tell the reason why he didn't choose there. Chu Yanyi, it's okay. The top floor of Jungsuan is not usually open. I can order them to open it that day. Chiao Ningsun was stunned. Is this good? Places that are not usually open are definitely important. Chu Yanyi, of course, I will do anything for you. Chiao Ningsun blushed, coughed lightly and said, okay, then I'll listen to you. That's all. She now has a net worth of billions, so it's no big deal to go there. Moreover, some people who attended the Suo family banquet heard that she was admitted to Huaxia University and wanted to come to celebrate. Going to the Junyu Hotel will not lose their identity. Chu Yanyi smiled, then I will make arrangements. Chiaoning Suan, the deposit. Chu Yanyi, no need, you can't play tricks on me, and I can't play tricks on you. Chiaoning Sun smiled, okay, thank you very much. Chu Yanyi hung up the phone and looked at Peng Jing'ai, go and handle this matter. Lu Jing'ai nodded, okay. Seeing her daughter hang up the phone, Chiao Shulan asked, is there a hotel? A hotel? Chiao Ningsun nodded, yes, it was Chu Yanyi who called just now. He said that it would be enough to open the top floor area. Chiao Kongsheng didn't know that Chu Yanyi liked Chiao Ningsun, and asked doubtfully, why is he willing to help? We are not too familiar with him, right? Chiao Ningsun coughed lightly, Grandpa, have you forgotten that I saved his elder grandfather last time? It was probably to repay the favor. The three elders suddenly realized it, no wonder. Now that the hotel has been decided, Lao Chiao's family will start preparing invitations. But just in case, even though Chiao Ningsun knew that Chu Yanyi would not cheat her, she planned to go try the dishes with her family first. They were also very satisfied with the results of the food trial. Nanjing Prison. Yuan Deshan was escorted into the visiting room by the prison guards with a dejected look on his face. Seeing the person on the other side of the glass wall, Yuan Deshan frowned, sat down, and picked up the phone. Chiao Shulan looked at Yuan Deshan, who looked 10 years older, and said expressionlessly, when I first met you, I never thought that you would fall to this level. Yuan Deshan smiled bitterly and said, I didn't expect that you would actually come to see me. Chiao Shulan sarcastically said, if you had lived with me honestly and treated your daughter well, you would definitely not be where you are now. Yuan Deshan frowned, what's the point of talking about this now? Chiao Shulan, it's really meaningless. Even if you regret it, it's too late. Yuan Deshan, is this why you came to see me today? Chiao Shulan, I really want you to regret it. Let me tell you, my daughter Chiao Ningsun was admitted to Huaxia University and was the provincial champion in science. The scholarship alone is worth millions. Yuan Deshan's eyes turned red and he said excitedly, what did you say? Chiao Ningsun studied so well? And there are so many bonuses. End of chapter. Back before I became a vegetative state, I became an immortal and invincible. Author, Qing Jue Chen Chen. Chapter 367. Chiao Shulan said with a proud smile, yes, tell me, if you had not cheated on us, abandoned us mother and daughter, and lived with us honestly, would you have fallen to this point now? Yuan Deshan's face darkened, and he gritted his teeth and said, I finally understand your purpose of coming today. You are just here to show off your daughter, and you are here to provoke me on purpose. Chiao Shulan, that's right, no woman will forgive you for abandoning your wife and children. I'm here today to see how you regret it. As a woman, she was abandoned by a man and had her daughter taken away. After her daughter was robbed, she was also abused. Even in a car accident, the man abandoned his daughter without paying the medical bills and brought his pregnant mistress to her to show off his power and demand compensation. After going through so many things, I believe no woman can forgive him generously. Had it not been for the special opportunity of their daughter, their family would not know what suffering it would be like now. Yuan Deshan said angrily, you bitch, I told you that you won't be so kind and I won't let you go. Just wait. After I get out, I will definitely kill your whole family. Xiao Shulan said unconcernedly, if you have the ability, just come. Her daughter told her that Yuan Deshan would never hurt them again in this life. Yuan Deshan became even more angry when he saw Xiao Shulan looking confident and wanted to get up and attack Xiao Shulan on the other side of the glass wall. But he was handcuffed and monitored. The prison guards came quickly and took him away. Xiao Shulan snorted when she saw this. Scumbag, regret it and die. Back in the cell, Yuan Deshan held his head in frustration. Xiao Ningxun's grades were indeed good at the beginning, but how did he know that she could actually get the top score in science? If he had known earlier, he would not have abandoned her so casually. Xiao Shulan is right. If he hadn't abandoned his wife and daughter, he wouldn't have been deceived. Now he has a daughter with good grades, a house, and a scholarship for his daughter. He must be living a good life. He regrets it so much, really regrets it. If he had it to do over again, he would never be deceived by Ren Jingjing again. As for the fact that Lao Chiao's family was going to hold a banquet for college entrance, soon after they sent out the invitations, word spread throughout the Guo village. Wherever Lu Hehua, Ya Yunting, and Lu Yuero went this day, they could hear others discussing Lao Chiao's family. Lao Chiao's family has completely turned over. They were so poor before, but now 3 of their children have been admitted to Huaxia University. It's really amazing. Yes, I heard that graduates from Huaxia University can earn at least 10,000 yuan a month. Xiao Shulan is blessed from now on. The 3 children will be filial to her. Her life is pretty good now. She owns 3 shops. I heard that the cherries she has grown in the past 2 years have allowed her shop to earn more than 100,000 and 200,000 yuan a day. Oh my god, more than 100,000 or 200,000 yuan, this is more than our family's annual income. Yes, Xiao Ningxun is also a smart person, and he managed to plant such a valuable fruit tree alive. Lu Hehua was shocked. An income of more than 100,000 and 200,000 yuan a day was too profitable. A person from another village asked, cherries? Aren't they just big cherries? No one eats the cherries on our mountain. How come cherries can be sold so expensively? People from this village, my children's company distributed cherries. The taste of cherries is different from ordinary cherries. It tastes good. Yes, otherwise the city people wouldn't like it so much. It's just too expensive. Last year it seemed to be selling for 100 yuan per caddy, but this year it's selling for 120 yuan per caddy. Lu Hehua exclaimed, 120 yuan per caddy? Why don't they grab it? Villager saw Lu Hehua coming. He knew that she had a bad relationship with Lao Chiao's family, so he smiled and asked, oh, she is the eldest daughter-in-law of Lao Chiao's family. You didn't know that cherries can be sold for so much, expensive. Seeing the other party's mocking eyes, Lu Hehua raised her feet and wanted to leave. But that person was not what she wanted. You should have heard that your husband's family is going to hold a banquet for college entrance. I heard that it will be held at the best hotel in the city, the Jingxian Hotel. I heard that the minimum standard for the banquet there's a table of 6,888, have you received the invitation? Lu Hehua paused and said, we are all a family, so I don't need an invitation. Villager nodded, that's right. You treat others as family, but others will not treat you as family. Village B laughed and said, but I heard that those high-end hotels will not let you in without an invitation or without the host personally welcoming you in. Villager C also covered his mouth and smiled, 6,888 meals per table. No, I heard that there are a lot of big bosses coming this time. Lao Chiao's family will probably order a higher price, probably from our village. It's the first and last time for most people, so it would be a shame if you couldn't go. Lu Hehua's face was ashen, he turned around and walked away angrily. She didn't believe it. As the aunt of Xiao Ningxun and He Yuan Hui, if she had gone that day, they really wouldn't let her in. Ya Yunting was walking on the road and saw many people gathered in front of her, so she walked over curiously. Before I got too close, I listened to the discussion of those people. Look at this invitation from a wealthy family, it's just different. Of course it's different if it's from the boss. I heard that the banquet for college entrance examinations was held at the Junhua Hotel. My son said that it was expensive there, but the food was really delicious. Has your son been there to eat? Then his salary must not be low, right? The salary is just average. My son works there when he is receiving clients, and the company pays for it. That's really enviable. But how much do you plan to give as a gift? Let me ask, I might as well do the same thing as you. Old Chiao's family said they don't need to give gifts, so if they go there, they will just support them. Although I say that, it is a child's college entrance banquet after all, so I'd better give it some, as an elder. One person suddenly stretched out his hand and compared a number. The others felt that they could accept it, so they all agreed. Some people noticed that Ya Yunting was nearby, and one person asked, so she is the second daughter-in-law of Lao Chiao's family. Someone deliberately ridiculed her and asked, Ya Yunting, those 3 children are so promising. As the second aunt, how big a red envelope can you give them? Someone booed, what an honor it is to be admitted to Huaxia University. Her child is still young. If she establishes a good relationship with Chiao Ningxun and the others, they will probably not have to worry about their studies in the future. Why should they pay 100,000 yuan? Ya Yunting's pupils shrank, 100,000. How is that possible? Someone else ridiculed, you are reluctant to give up 100,000 yuan? You are also stupid. Lao Chiao's family is willing to entertain guests at the Junhua Hotel. They don't know how much money they have. You can give them 100,000 yuan to reconcile with them. If they are willing, if you give your family a little tug, your family will turn over. Back before I became a vegetative state, I became an immortal and invincible. Author, Qing Jue Chen Chen. Chapter 368. That's right, if I had such rich relatives, there would be no way I could alienate them. Besides, your husband is also very close to them, but it's all because of your stupidity that you beat your hands to pieces. 3 people have been admitted to Huaxia University from now on. If they casually support their cousins, they will avoid a lot of detours. I really don't know how to plan for their children. When your child grows up, he will definitely hate you if he has no future. Ya Yunting's face turned red when she was told this. Seeing Ya Yunting's embarrassment, some people were still unwilling to let her go and asked, then how much gift do you plan to give? Ya Yunting frowned and said, didn't they say they won't charge money this time? As long as the person leaves, that's fine. One person laughed loudly, we are not related by blood to Lao Chiao's family. Of course we can go directly. In the future, we will treat guests and not accept their food. But you and them are relatives. As relatives and elders, why don't you do something wrong? Money shouldn't make sense, right? Ya Yunting was stunned for a moment. What she said seemed to make sense. But she was really reluctant to pay for it. Lu Yuero returned to her parents' home. Father Lu, I heard that your husband's nephew and niece have both been admitted to Huaxia University. There is going to be a banquet for college entrance, and it will be in a high-end hotel. I heard that there are many rich people going there, so why don't you take us there too? Lu Yuero was very embarrassed. Dad, you also know that when I listened to your words and refused to support my parents-in-law, they had a lot of objections to me. Not to mention that I would take you there, it was still a question whether I could go there myself. Mother Lu frowned, why are you so useless? Those are your husband's nephews and nieces, those are your nephews and nieces, you go to their college entrance banquet, how dare they keep you out? They really dare, Lu Yuero said dejectedly, ever since my husband knew that I gave you money every month, he never gave me money again, and my life has been very difficult. My husband doesn't take me seriously, and the people in Lao Jiao's family don't take me seriously either. Mother Lu thought of what her daughter said last year and asked, now Jiao Liki and Jiao Lishan go to Lao Jiao's house, but they don't see them? Do you want to kick them out? That's right. Speaking of children, Lu Yuero became angry. It's true that the old couple doesn't care about or dote on their own grandchildren, but instead dotes on those with other surnames. Father Lu's sister, Lu Yuero's aunt, said quietly, those people with foreign surnames are much more filial than your children. You see, several grandchildren and granddaughters are so promising. It doesn't seem to matter whether they have biological grandchildren or biological granddaughters. Moreover, someone else has a very filial daughter by his side. Your son and daughter have been taught by you since childhood to despise poverty and love wealth, and to disrespect their elders. I will not recognize such a child even if it is my own grandchildren. Lu Yuero choked and said dissatisfied, Auntie, who are you talking about for? Of course I am the assistant, and you are indeed ignoring me. I have also heard about the difficulties that old Chiao's family had. What you did was indeed unkind. No wonder others don't like you. This is the retribution for all your evil deeds. Lu Yuero's eyes turned red and she roared angrily, I also listened to what my parents said. I didn't want to. They said that a man's money should not be used in vain. If I don't give them money, they will say that they never gave birth to me. I don't want this daughter either. Father Lu frowned and said, I asked you to give us money, but I didn't ask you to be unfilial to your father-in-law and mother-in-law. Lu's mother also scolded, that's right, now that others have turned around, you have done something great again, and others are laughing at you. Enough, Lu Yuero shouted, Dad, Mom, you were the ones who told me that the old Chiao family would probably be like this for the rest of their lives, and they would definitely not be able to turn around. Moreover, He Yuanyang's grades were good at the beginning, but with He Yuan who has grades, if the government hadn't taken care of our small mountain village, how could he have gone to a school as good as number 1 middle school? You also said that their children won't have much future, so I left the Lao Chiao family alone. Now that they have their future, you are here to criticize me. I don't have parents like you. Lu's father and Lu's mother looked at each other and nodded tacitly. We never said that. That's right, we never said that. You, Lu Yuero was furious and stood up quickly, forget it, I can't do what you asked me for. If nothing happens at home in the future, I won't come back. After saying that, she rushed out of the door. The people from the Lu family quickly chased after him. Lao Jiao's family is so rich and has such a backer, so don't give it up for free. Father Lu grabbed his daughter's arm and said angrily, your parents haven't promised you to leave, so you dare to leave? Where is your upbringing? Mother Lu also said, you are so rude. Lu Yuero sneered and said, don't you just want me to take you to the Junhua Hotel? I'll be honest, I don't have the ability. At most, I will take the children there with my 3 sisters-in-law. For the sake of the children, they might let us in, but you, they will never agree. After saying that, she left without looking back. Father Lu and Mother Lu suddenly panicked. Husband, what do you think we should do? What can we do? We will go directly there on that day. They won't let us in, so we will make trouble. I don't believe it. It's such a beautiful day, and the people of Lao Jiao's family will be willing to let us ruin it. Okay, I'll listen to you. The day of the college entrance banquet will soon come. Early in the morning, everyone in Lao Jiao's family was dressed up. For today, Chiao Ningxun even specially invited a makeup artist to come back and give makeup to the family. All their clothes were specially customized by her. By 7 o'clock in the morning, everyone was dressed up. Ye Kaixiang looked at herself in the mirror, her eyes moistened involuntarily. At this time, she looked in the mirror with curly hair, jewelry on her ears and neck, her hairstyle was also very delicate, and her face had makeup that suited her. Chiao Ningxun asked, "Grandma, what's wrong?" Ye Kaixiang sighed, "With such a beautiful look, I wish I could be 20 years younger." "Ningxun, do you think I am pretending to be young like this? No one in our village has ever dressed up like this before of." Chiao Ningxun smiled and said, "Then be the first in our village. Today is a big day. If you are an old lady in the city, you will dress like this." "Okay, I'll listen to you." After Ye Kaixiang finished speaking, she glanced at her granddaughter and said with a smile, "Wei Ningxun is really the most beautiful girl, and you look very good today too." Chiao Ningxun pursed her lips and smiled, "I think so too." You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Back before I became a vegetative state, I became an immortal and invincible. Author, Qing Jue Chen Chen. Chapter 369. Chiao Shulan said helplessly, "Be humble." Chiao Ningxun raised her eyebrows and said, "I'm just going to keep a high profile today." Others also smiled helplessly. Chiao Shulan didn't say anything more. Her daughter was the eldest today and she would not fail to give her daughter face. 8 in the morning. Everyone in Lao Chiao's family also arrived at the Junhua Hotel in advance, waiting for the arrival of the guests. As for the people in Deguo village, statistics show that there are a total of 200 people going there. Chiao Jianru and Xiang Chemin were responsible for watching them get on the bus in Deguo village. At this time, all the invited people in Deguo village were lining up obediently. Some people who had a festival with Lao Chiao's family were watching from a short distance away and couldn't help but say harsh words. "Humph, they are all spineless people. Seeing that others are rich, they fawn over others. It's just a big hotel in the city, isn't it? It's like no one has been there before." "That's right, we're not envious at all." Chiao Jianru saw his 3 brothers and their families lining up at the back, and when it was their turn, he stretched out his hand to stop them. Chiao Jianmo frowned and said, "Fourth, what do you mean?" Chiao Jianzhou and Chiao Jianyu were also very dissatisfied and looked at Chiao Jianru with evil eyes. Chiao Jianru said quietly, "Ningxun said, you are not on the invitation list." Chiao Jianmo said angrily, "What does Chiao Ningxun mean? Does she really not want us 3 relatives?" Chiao Jianru, she did say, "No. You." Chiao Jianzhou said dissatisfied, "Chiao Ningxun has gone too far. We are all related by blood. Our bones are broken but our tendons are still connected. How can she deny us?" Chiao Jianyu, "That's right. After all, we are her biological uncles. If we go to support her, we are giving her face, and she is not happy about it." The village chief suddenly came over and said, "When Chiao Ningxun's family had no money, you didn't recognize them. Now that her family has money, she doesn't want to recognize you. Isn't it normal? Why, you are allowed to treat others like that. Don't allow others to do that to you." 3 people choked at the same time. Chiao Jianru said indifferently, "The village chief is right. If you can do the 1st grade of junior high school, others can do the 15th grade. After saying that, he motioned to the people behind the 3 families to get in the car. The villagers looked at the 3 families with disdain and quickly got into the car. Some people even say things that are so irritating that they would not pay for their lives. You just stay in the village without being invited. Come and join in the fun. It's a waste of everyone's time. We who have old arms and legs are prone to getting sick if we stand for a long time. If we get sick, are you responsible?" The 3 Chiao Jianmo brothers were furious and wanted to force themselves into the car, but those people didn't give them a chance. Even if they get on the bus, they will be kicked off together. More than 10 minutes later, they could only watch helplessly as all the buses drove away. "Brother, Chiao Ningxun really did such a great job." "Humph, since she is so merciless to us and makes us embarrassed in front of the whole village, then we don't have to be polite. Fortunately, we rented a car in advance and we went by ourselves. Good. An hour later, all the invited people from Daguo village also arrived at the Junhua Hotel. The three brothers Chiao Jianmo and their families also went to Junhua Hotel. As soon as they arrived, a staff member parked the car for them. Chiao Jianyu whispered, "Brother, the service at Junhang Hotel is really good. We don't have to find a parking space ourselves." Chiao Jianmo nodded, "Yes, if you can come here to have a meal once in your life, it will be considered as if your journey to this world has not been in vain." The three families looked at the signboard of Junhua Hotel and then at the deserted doorway, feeling a little confused. Why is it so quiet at the door? Several guests in the city on TV, aren't they all welcome guests at the door and collect gifts? Why is it different from what they think? Lu Hehua expressed her thoughts. "Yeah, Yunting guessed, your idea is that small hotels only do that. I guess it's because the Jungsuan Hotel is too big, and big hotels don't do that, because it seems to lower the quality." The rest of the people also heard what she said, and they all looked like they were suddenly enlightened. A man in uniform saw more than 10 people from 3 families coming together and asked, "Have you made a reservation in advance?" "Chiao Jianmo, our surname is Chiao, we are from." He said his last name, so these people should know that they are guests of Lao Chiao's family. "It turns out to be Mr. Chiao, please come with me." After the man finished speaking, he walked to the front. The 3 families were happy at the same time and quickly followed behind him. Chiao Ningxun said so powerfully, but in fact, she still wanted to invite them. Otherwise, how could she be so polite to them now? Lu Hehua said proudly, "Haha, I just said, look, we still came in." Ya Yunting was also very surprised, "I didn't expect us to get in so easily." Lu Yuejidao, "Why do I feel so unreal?" Chiao Ningxun even asked the 4th child to guard Daguo village just to prevent us from coming over. "How come we are suddenly asked to come in when we get here?" Chiao Jianmo looked like a villain, "Maybe my parents specially greeted the staff. We are their biological sons after all. How could they not want us to come over on such an important day?" Chiao Jianzhou nodded, "Yes, it must be so." The rest of the people were confused when they heard this, but they didn't say anything else. Soon, they came to a private room. The staff waited for them all to come in and said very politely, "Everyone, you can stay in this private room. Here you can get massages, beautification, playing cards, watching movies, and a children's playground. I will inform you later when we have dinner." Chiao Jianmo nodded. Seeing that the staff was about to leave, Lu Hehua asked, "Aren't the other guests here?" The staff said, "We can receive you as a family here. You are a family and there will be no other troubles here. After all, those who come here are either rich or noble and don't want to make too much noise. So do you know?" Lu Hehua heard the words either rich or noble, glanced at the clothes on herself and her family, and immediately straightened her back. Sure enough, clothes costing several thousand yuan can make people look good. The clothes they spent a lot of money on yesterday are not in vain. Others raised their heads involuntarily when they heard this. Chiao Jianmo said, "Okay, let us know in advance. Don't forget us." "Okay." After the staff went out, they thoughtfully closed the door for them. Listening to the voice inside, a sneer appeared on the corner of his mouth. "Want to attend the Chiao family banquet? Dream on." Not long after, the Lu family also arrived. I was invited over by the hotel staff in the same way, and I was enjoying myself in the private room at this time. "Father Lu, look, I said we can come in." End of chapter. Back before I became a vegetative state, I became an immortal and invincible. Author, Qing Jue Chen Chen. Chapter 370. Lu Mu, that's great. The decoration here is extraordinary. The food must be delicious. I will eat it till I'm full. Father Lu's son, haha, I want it too. Others are also very excited. Just thinking about the delicacies they can eat later makes their mouths water. On the other side, the guests invited by Lao Chiao's family have also arrived at the banquet hall one after another. Chiao Ningxun and He Yuanhui have also been obediently staying by the side of their elders. When a guest comes, they say hello. The people in Deguo village were sitting on one side at this time, watching the guests coming and going. Yan Jiaxi and his younger brother Yan Jiaxuan are also here today. Seeing the three protagonists, I gave them congratulatory gifts respectively. Congratulations to all three of you, you have all been admitted to the schools of your choice. Chiao Ningxun smiled and said, thank you so much, Dr. Yan, and thank you for saving my life with all your strength. Yan Jiaxi said softly, you're welcome, a doctor's duty is to treat illnesses and save people. Speaking, he glanced at He Yuanhui again, I still don't know what major you have chosen. Chiao Ningxun, we all majored in finance. Yan Jiaxi nodded, finance, that's a good choice. Yan Jiaxuan said, you guys should be busy, I'll go find some acquaintances to say hello. Chiao Ningxun, go. Principal Yao came over quickly with the teachers. Chiao Ningxun, He Yuan Yang, He Yuanhui, congratulations to you. Chiao Ningxun, I'm very happy, I heard that your child also did very well in the high school entrance examination. Principal Yao said with a smile, it's just average. Compared with you, it's far behind. Zhou Anning looked at Chiao Ningxun and said, you are so beautiful today. Chiao Ningxun smiled and said, Teacher Zhou, thank you for the compliment. You are also very beautiful today. Zhou Anning whispered and whispered, for today, I went to several shopping malls to find a dress that I am satisfied with. Chiao Ningxun also whispered, your hard work has not been in vain. Look, many people are looking at you. Zhou Anning's face turned red, she coughed lightly and said, you kid, you're making fun of the teacher. Hey hey. Chiao Ningxun introduced his family members to the teachers and asked them to rest temporarily. After a while, Shi Xiao also came. Shi Xiao came here today with people from the clothing factory. Last year she was admitted to Huaxia University, and Chiao Ningxun also asked her to work part-time in a garment factory during the summer vacation. I originally thought that today would be just an ordinary college entrance banquet, but I didn't expect that when it arrived, it would turn out to be a large banquet. Many of the people who came were dressed up, and there seemed to be many characters she could only see on TV. Looking at his jeans, Shi Xiao shrank in the corner with embarrassment. After Chiao Ningxun saw it, he quickly walked over and asked, Senior sister, what's wrong with you? Shi Xiao blushed and said, I seem to have worn the wrong clothes. Chiao Ningxun said indifferently, it's okay, today is just my college entrance banquet. You see, the people from my Deguo village also came here wearing their normal clothes. It's not a special banquet. Those rich people, I usually dress like that, so don't take it too seriously. Shi Xiao glanced at the others and suddenly breathed a sigh of relief when he saw that it was indeed what Chiao Ningxun said. Chiao Ningxun, you've worked hard too, go find someone you know to play with. Yeah. Chiao Ningxun saw several people approaching from a distance and quickly greeted them, Mr. Chu, Mr. Suo, Mr. Shen, you are here. Mr. Chu said with a smile, come here, you personally sent us the invitation, of course we want to come. Mr. Shen glanced at the hall, then at the people in Deguo village not far away, and said with a smile, it's a good place. It seems that you are very popular. Many people come to congratulate you. Chiao Ningxun, they are the ones who give me face. Shen Kingxiu, Miss Chiao, congratulations, you are so beautiful today. Chiao Ningxun, thank you for the compliment. You are also very handsome today. Chen Qing Suorjin suddenly turned red. Mr. Shen looked at his grandson and then at Jiaoning Sun. The more he looked at them, the more he felt that they were very talented and handsome. I don't know if Jiaoning Sun has anyone he likes. If not, he can bring them together. Jiaoning Sun also introduced his family members to them one by one. Mr. Chu stepped forward and held Jiao Kangshen's hand, and said with a smile, "Brother Jiao, your grandchildren are really amazing. 3 of them have been admitted to Huaxia University. How do you usually teach them?" Jiao Kongsheng thought of his sons on another floor and sighed, "Actually, they are good looking. To be honest, I have 4 sons and 2 daughters. Only 1 son and 1 daughter are of the same mind as me. The others it's simply hard to describe." Mr. Chu also heard about the Jiao family and said with relief, "That's just the way the child is. Don't worry too much. Your eldest daughter will come back sooner or later." "Jiao Kongsheng, I'd like to thank you for your kind words." Suo Jingguo was about to speak when the phone rang suddenly and he quickly connected. After a while, he hung up again. Suo Hongfeng saw that his face was a little ugly and asked, "What's wrong?" Suo Jingguo said helplessly, "Suo Xingxin was clamoring to come over. The bodyguard said that if she was not allowed to come over, she would commit suicide. She is also downstairs now." During this period, Suo Xingxin was indeed different from before. She listened to their words and didn't do anything bad. If she didn't come to cause trouble today, but came to sincerely congratulate her, they wouldn't mind giving her one last chance. "Suo Hongfeng, I'll go there." Jiaoning Sun counted her fingers and suddenly said with a smile, "Why don't we just invite her to come up?" Suo Hongfeng was stunned, "But I'm worried about what happened last time." "Jiaoning Sun, it's okay, this is my territory today. If Suo Xingxin didn't come today, who would sing opera to so many guests? She should get her retribution after allowing her to be free and unrestrained for so many years." Suo Hongfeng saw Jiaoning Sun's eyes and immediately felt that Suo Xingxin probably wouldn't get much benefit today. All right. It seems that Suo Xingxin's departure from the Suo family was God's will. She bumped into me on purpose today, it was God's will. After a while, Suo Xingxin came up. Jiaoning Sun asked her family to receive the guests, and she went to Suo Xingxin's side. At this time, Suo Xingxin was sitting in a wheelchair, looking at Jiaoning Sun with a sinister look on her face. Since the last time she jumped off the building, she had been lying in bed for a year before she could get up. It took about half a year to do rehabilitation training, and now I can stand up. But I can't stand for too long, so I still use a wheelchair. Suo Jingguo saw Suo Xingxin's face and frowned, "Have you forgotten what I warned you about again?" Suo Xingxin was startled and had no choice but to lower her head. Jiaoning Sun raised her eyebrows and smiled, "Brother Suo, she should have known that she was wrong. She came here today because she probably wanted to apologize to me." End of chapter.